Right, David. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm all right. I've been okay since I last spoke to you 2 seconds ago.
Aye. Anyway, we're back up our new cameras. Mine doesn't fucking work, but you're going to
Yes,
talk me through getting it working.
I've got mine here. It's wonderful, right? Well, it's like the cable into the back of the one I had is starting to go. I just moved out too much. You can't repair these things, unfortunately.
Aye.
So there you go.
Now,
Just,
we've got 46 watching at the moment. Folks, if you can see us and hear us, please let us know because Alistair Kerr phoned me a wee minute ago saying that on his device the video was restricted. So can you all hear us? Just put a wee yes in the comment, please. A wee second, somebody will type yes. Either wind us up and say no. But let's have a wee look and see who's in. Laurie Hayes in. Stephen Nichols in. Ange is in.
well, says I-
Desiree's in. Stephen McNeil's in. Pete's Music's in. Stephen Charlton's in. We've Pet. Robert Burns. Sorry, Robert Bruce. John Baxter. Stevie Charlton. Yeah. Keep going. Hi, Chris. Last Braveheart. Aki's. The Two Davies. I guess that was you. Good afternoon, Reagan O'Eat. Great programme this morning, young fella. Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Lorna. We'll go to everybody. Peter M. If I've missed anybody, I do apologise.
Mr. E's there again.
We've got a big long line of yeses, so the broadcast's going out okay, David. It must be a problem with Alistair's device.
I hope that's the case, but you never know with these things.
The other thing is, he might have restricted internet access. Apparently, he's on his commute at this time of day, I believe. He listens to us in the car.
Right.
Anyway, it's the 30th of the 10th, 2025, another month nearly over. Oof. And tomorrow's Halloween, is it not?
Well, you don't have any work to do you, to actually make your face look there?
Cheeky bastard.
Imagine meeting some of that down a fucking dark avenue somewhere. Oh, fuck me.
You're a charmer. Anyway, let's get this underway. First up today will be First Minister's question as the Parliament's back in session. And first to speak today, of course, was the Tory who is leading the Tory party into oblivion, Russell Finlay. And he's on the Claire Ingalls story, a murder for 2021. Now, he tells a story about this lassie murdered by her boyfriend who was released into her care, her address, on bail for whatever reason. I'm not familiar with the case. Anyway, apparently there's been a report done into it, an investigation into what happened to the lassie by social work. And Russell Finlay is demanding that it's put into the public realm. Now, the First Minister replies, if it can be put into the public realm, it will be put into the public realm. Why was that John's reply, David?
Because it's handled by the Information Commissioner.
The Information Commissioner.
Not the First Minister of Scotland.
No.
Simple as that. And if Russell Finlay wants to argue with that, fine. But the most important thing is...
John should have explained that to the crowd.
John should have explained that to the crowd. You play to the balcony. You play to the crowd. You answering Russell Finlay back. He's a prick, right? The answer to that, answering him back properly. You're not answering Russell Finlay. You're answering for the people that are looking on.
That's right. Now, John should have explained to the people looking on that it's the Information Commissioner's office who deals with information put into the public realm.
Somebody's hearing this, right? All you guys are looking on here, right? We're going to do the same. We effectively are going to do exactly the same. But what we're going to say is, we need you to contact the First Minister. We need you to get that across, that he needs to tell the audience that are watching, not Russell Finlay, but the audience that are watching, what's actually what the law is, right? What goes on? This case, it was the information minister is the person that actually makes the or information commissioner is the person that actually makes the decision on it, right? So get that through to John. There needs to be some consistency here.
Aye, because
as I was just trying to explain to you, there's another situation where he did mention that. But carry on, David.
Yep. Next up was Poverty Price Sarwar, and he went on crime and justice. And his main point, after denigrating the prison service, after denigrating the courts, was that there was 10,000 executed warrants in Scotland.
Hang on a second. So John Swinney then puts on his police jacket and his hat, and he said, hello, what's going on here? 10,000 of these warrants, I'll go out and I'll get it sorted out tonight.
Well, John explains that the execution of warrants is a police operational matter. And if the police are busy dealing with crime, then some operational matters take second fiddle. So Sarwar then gets up and breaks down what it is each of these, how many warrants are for each of the crimes: sexual crimes, murder, violent crime, domestic abuse, theft, shoplifting, that sort of thing. Sarwar breaks it all down.
The branch manager of the Labour Party as well, that's a crime as well. That's
good. He then goes on to howl that there's murderers, rapists, violent men and women, and all sorts walking our streets because the SNP have lost control of law and order.
No, he mentioned drug dealers.
He mentioned drug dealers wandering the streets as well. Aye. And apparently that's all the Scottish government's fault. And John went, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. So he rips his waffle apart until after Sarwar says he's cutting cop numbers, shutting police stations, and all that crap. I'm not having that. He says, no chance. And then he explains to the people on the balcony and the people watching that crime's at an all-time low. It's 39% lower now than what it was when the SNP came to power, and crime's at its lowest that it's been since 1974. There are more police officers that are better paid than the ones south of the border per capita, and there's more than when they came to office. And when it comes to closing police stations, that's a matter for police estates, and they're doing that to try and plug the 75 million being whipped off them in VAT to Westminster each year, you know. But John wasn't having it, and he made it clear to the public, and then he said to Sarwar, and I'll take it to the public. Meaning,
remember, guys, what we said was, look, we need you to contact John Swinney. Really important.
Tell me,
if John Swinney's got a load of these messages through to him, then obviously he'll see one of them, right? The point we want to get across to Mr. Swinney is very simple.
Consistency. And explaining what it is you're saying to the other politician. The other politician already knows the rules of the game.
That's right.
Already knows what it is procedurally that's important, John. We, the public, don't. So when you're in your answer, remember, you're pointing to the audience, explain it, mansplain it to the fucking idiot.
That's right.
That way the public will understand what's going on.
Yes.
We need consistency in this. We really do. Right, and the young Ross Greer comes in fighting. He's on about inequality in Scotland. And he's wanting the First Minister to use the devolved taxes to whack the rich. And Ross opens by saying he's just been in consultation with the UK government over wealth tax. Why don't you use the devolved taxes? And then he goes on to ring out the land tax, the council tax, and things like that. And John explains to him that the land tax thing, we couldn't get consensus on it in the Parliament. The council tax, we wanted to change that in 2007, 2008, couldn't get consensus in the Parliament. And then he goes on to explain that some of the taxes that they are in charge of, aggregate taxes, landfill taxes, land and building transaction tax, they're being quite progressive there and throwing in merit of the public purse. On the land tax one, folks, that was Andy Whiteman. And you seen the way he gets slaughtered in the press and the way he gets slaughtered in the parliament by those in such a...
He ended up getting taken to court.
Aye.
Andy Whiteman, so come on out, you know. It's rather important. It's quite an important point, this, right? The time that Rhodesia became an independent country, it became Zimbabwe, I believe, right? You probably heard they actually stole farms and all the rest of the white settlers in that place, right? Now, Scotland are not like that. Scotland's not going to do that. When we become independent, there might be 75% of our landmass owned by other individuals, by a relatively small number of individuals. But what we'll do is we will use a land tax at that time.
Because we won't have Westminster stopping us.
That's right. But the little patch of land that my house is on, it's like we'll pay tax on that. It'll be, but you can imagine that is an eighth of an acre, whatever it is, right? But what about the people that own 50,000 acres and it's a sporting estate? You need to be sure, as David actually mentioned out, you've got to be sure that you don't hammer any of the farmers, because so it's wording of the law. But we need to actually have this whereby
banding of land tax, David.
Yeah, these people.
You need to band it as such residential.
Yeah,
and have a cost there.
Yeah,
agricultural.
Yeah.
There. Yeah. Sport in the state. Whack that fucker.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, what we're expecting is it similar to the Zimbabwe situation that we had, right? That it will be done in a gentlemanly way, and these people will say, "Can't afford the taxes, we're off," and the Scottish government will go, "You're not going to pay the taxes? Well, fair enough. We'll confiscate your land," and then that land goes into public ownership.
Yep, where we can utilise it to make money for the public purse. Anyway, apparently the Welsh are changing their voting system for next May 2026 election. They are dropping the constituency aspect of the vote.
I wonder why.
You'd have thought it'd be the list aspect of the vote that would be dropping, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
But apparently they're going full proportional representation.
Yeah.
I'm
still smiling all over Reverend Caerphilly. I think it's just wonderful.
I think proportional representation will be an even bigger problem for Labour.
Yeah, maybe.
You know. Right. So that was the Greens. I went to members' questions after that, David, and I tend not to bother my arse too much about that. Not unless there's a really important one come up.
Yeah, but it's if there's anything really, really important on the member side, it'll get to you eventually. So whatever. Yeah.
Right, anyway. Moving on, and this one concerns me and you, David, because it's been announced that the Scottish election next year will be a daytime count. Now, what that means, folks, is that when the polling stations shut at 10 o'clock at night, the boxes are stored overnight, and the count starts at 9 o'clock the next morning. Now,
the question we never got to the bottom of was, are the boxes going to be stored at the polling station, or are they going to be stored at the counting place for the council?
That'll be the count. They'll be transferred after 10 o'clock at night to count.
Right.
So they're there to be started on at 9 o'clock in the morning, but that gives 11 hours where they could be tampered with.
So, as far as I'm concerned, they're under the security of the whole thing is ridiculous, because what happens is with those boxes, some places it's just down the road, right? Fair enough. But there's a lot of places in Scotland where it's over the hills and far away,
Yes.
right? And those boxes, anything can happen. And see when you take that we've got a dirty trick squad like the MI5 that we know are involved in the 2014 referendum, right? And then we'll get a situation where the Labour have already said that they're going to win this election. I wonder. I really do wonder. I'm jumping in quickly here so David doesn't say it. If the police want to come and get me for that, fair enough, right? But seriously, I think Labour are out to fiddle this big style.
I think it could be, David, but the Electoral Board of Scotland have decided it's cost efficient, more cost efficient, and
I don't give a shit about cost efficient. I give a shit about my country becoming an independent country, an independent republic of Scotland.
Very good, David, yes, but at this point in time, we're only talking about a couldn't. Now, there's no saying it will be tampered with, but it is open to be tampered with, depending on how security for these boxes is set up.
Right. Well,
private security companies, folks, like Mears,
yeah,
who also run asylum accommodation, then that might be something to worry about.
Yes.
I and David have spoken about this, and we would like each party to nominate somebody to be there with the boxes all night.
Yes.
As well as a police officer.
Bring a book, but bring your 12-gauge shotgun as well at the same time.
Bring a book, and a big flask of coffee.
Yeah.
But we need an activist for each party standing guard over those boxes that night.
Yeah.
As well as a police officer. But we need at least four or one for each party, independent witness sitting there with these boxes all night to ensure they're no fucking tampered with.
Well, also, I look at this situation, and this has been slipped under the door. We had no prior notification that this was going to happen. This was just literally, oh, here it is, lads. There you are.
It's announced yesterday.
Right. And as far as I'm concerned,
justification for it, David, is the 2021 election, which was during the pandemic, and the count took place over 2 days, 2 days after the ballots had been collected because of the contamination risk.
Right. See if it's MI5. They've only got to be caught once. Yeah? Caught red-handed. Let's get some people out there, over and above women representatives from each of the parties. Let's also have some people there as well, our folk, right? Watching out for. We're not out to do any fiddling or whatever, right? But we'll catch whoever tries. That's the important thing.
Well, as I say, I would like a representative or an activist for each party to be at each count with these boxes all night until the count fucking starts.
I want pro-independence supporters to be there going.
They'll all have parties of preference as well, so an activist for one of them can be selected anyway.
It's fine. That's okay.
But as I say, that one concerns me.
Yeah. Well, it concerns me because I think there's now a high likelihood that Labour are looking to fiddle the election 2026.
And some are suggesting live webcams. But the thing with webcams is you can loop a bit of footage to make it look as if there's nothing there or nothing's changed.
There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it on proper security protocols. It's too expensive to do on every single one.
But as I say, activists for each of the parties to stand guard with a police officer.
Yeah, there's 32 councils, right? So effectively, that's 32 counting houses, right? It could be done. Could be done with the cameras. That's a good suggestion, actually. Could be done.
Boxes more likely to be tampered with during transfer. That's very true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Over the hills and far away. I keep on saying that. They did the same with 2014. what happened was you had these boxes that ended up going over the hills and far away. And people are wondering why we ended up with ballot papers and tips and side roads and all the rest of it, rather than being the proper place, the counting house.
Yes. Right, moving on. SNP and Plaid Cymru in discussions in forming a progressive alliance, a progressive pro-independence alliance. Now, David, Westminster could be in trouble very shortly. There could be a pro-reunification government in Northern Ireland, a pro-independence government in Scotland, and a pro-independence government in Wales.
Well, the people of Northern Ireland, I mean, that effectively that is independence from
Westminster.
From Westminster, right? So even though it's a rejoining Ireland,
Reunification thing, aye.
but so effectively every single one of those are involved in an independence, ambition, if you like, right?
Aye.
Leslie Earth actually said the other day there, she said, you look at Caerphilly, and what actually happened was you had newscasters were interviewing Reform because it looked as if they were going to win, right? So they get loads of interviews. Labour also got, because they were in charge of that area, right? They got loads of interviews, right? But what do they call them? What was the name of that party? Oh yeah, Plaid Cymru. They never got a word, and yet they won.
Aye.
Right? And we've also got this thing of where the elected official for Northern Ireland, Bump, right? What's the lass's name again, David?
Michelle O'Neill.
That's right, Michelle O'Neill, right? Okay. So we've got that, we've got Wales, and we've got the upcoming 2026 election, which is the SNP are pushing really, really hard at the moment. And what Leslie said is, you think something's happening here?
Oh, something's afoot.
Yes.
And there won't be trouble ahead for Westminster when they got a pro-nationalist government in Wales and Scotland.
I reckon Westminster could end up being a council.
Right. I think Westminster could end up being the English Parliament only.
Yeah.
It is at the moment, but I mean English only because we're all off-ski.
Yeah.
We don't like the direction it's gone in.
Yeah.
And we'll get a wee bit more of that as we get further in. Of course, let's move on. UK ministers insist they understand local concerns over plans to house asylum seekers at Cameron Barracks in Inverness. Now, David, you and I were looking at Cameron Barracks earlier, and it appears that it's no fit for human habitation. But up until the middle of 2025, it was hosting Afghani families.
That's right.
Who were brought here after.
So therefore, we know what the UK government think of anybody. I mean, these people, the Afghani families are talking about, these are people that helped the British forces.
Yeah, stick them in inhumane conditions.
Yes. I mean, wow.
Now they're talking about putting 309 people in there. We better explain what the problem is. There's asbestos in the buildings, the heating's dilapidated and ancient, the showers, blocks and things like that are built for the army. They're not built for private citizens.
Well, I mean, for a start, why were the army inhabiting? We've known about the asbestos problem since late 70s, right?
David, army accommodation has been a fucking outrage for decades.
Yes.
You've got families in the army and accommodation provided by the army, which is dilapidated.
Yes, we should have.
And of course, these are all supposed to be fully furnished. The furniture's all 40 bits and everything.
Yeah.
You know, but these barracks are no fit for human habitation. And apparently, there's a £1.5 million programme to bring them up to spec. 9 buildings, 1.5 million.
They expect to do that. They expect to do that in 1 month.
Aye, 1 month.
Last night I did listen to debate night, and there was a lad stood up and he went, "There's no way no way that work's going to be carried out in a month. Too much.
Yep, and what's interesting is it's not even scheduled to start until January 2026.
Yeah.
So you're going to have 309 men living there with building going on round about them.
Yeah.
But this place isn't fit for human habitation. But that shows you the mentality of the Westminster government and its level of cruelty. So-called allies have been getting housed there for the last fucking 4 years in inhumane conditions.
Yes.
Unbelievable. So it is. Now, I don't know what state the barracks in Essex is in. The training facility in Essex they're going to use to put 600 odd people in.
Yeah.
I hope it's in a fucking better state than the 18th century building that the poor people are going to freeze their asses off in the north of Scotland in. You know, unbelievable. Right, now, let's move on, David. This one's quite interesting. Police confiscate a ton of fireworks worth 42,000 from a van in Rosyth. The fireworks were to be distributed for violent disorder in the capital and in Tayside.
Now, I'm a layman as regards explosives, whatever, right? But I said to David, I said, can you explain to me what it is? What it's 165 kilos, is it?
163 kilos of black powder.
Black powder, right? What is that? David, please give the explanation you gave to me, if you would mind.
Well, if you understand what a shotgun shot is, David, and the way they're made, you see them put 2 or 3 grams of black powder in it and then fill it up with projectiles of pepper shot. And then they'll fold it out after putting a bit of wadding in. And then it becomes a percussion cap. When it's struck, the black powder explodes and the projectiles come out the cap and out the barrel. Right. Black powder is basically gunpowder. All right, and it can be used to make a multitude of things. But see that wee cap that we've just spoke about? Imagine that's a glass jar with a quarter of a kilo of black powder in it, and then you fill it up with projectiles.
What, you're talking about nails and screw nails and bits and bobs like that? Yeah.
Now, if they could extract 163 kilograms of black powder that was in those fireworks, rather than using the fireworks as a disruptive thing,
yeah,
that's a lot of explosive.
Yeah, so what they actually said in the newspaper article that I read was it was 1 ton, but of that 1 ton, there was 163 kilos of black powder.
That's right. So if you extracted all the black powder for all the fireworks,
yeah,
you've got a shitload of explosives.
Right. So, but on to the actual story, what they did through police intelligence was they actually tracked down the person that was involved, and they've confiscated £42,000 worth of fireworks.
They've also put them into curfew until the 6th of November.
But that wasn't just one person.
No.
That wasn't just one person. But I'm going to shell it 42 grand.
And then distribute it through Tayside and Edinburgh for violent protest.
Yeah.
There's more of this than meets the eye.
It's definitely, it's more than meets the eye here. This is dangerous.
It is dangerous, but fireworks are dangerous.
Yeah, I know fireworks are dangerous. We've had campaigns on for year after year after year. And dogs and cats and all the rest of it, to try and do them some good. Come on, guys, chuck this. It's an English celebration. We shouldn't be bothered with Guy Fawkes Night. The only thing you should be celebrating on that day is David McGuinness's birthday. And that's it, end of story, right?
Right, but you've got to remember, folks, Guy Fawkes was trying to kill the Scottish King.
Yes. Yeah. All right, we did. Right, looking back, we wouldn't have liked the Scottish King either. But, as far as that's concerned, it is an English celebration.
But more importantly, David, the thing is, any numpty could draw the black powder out of these fucking things and turn that into something more deadly.
Correct.
Thanks very much, Roddy.
Thank you, Roddy.
Make it in time, but keep up the good work and keep the bastards from the doors. Yeah.
Right. So,
So,
yeah, that's rather an interesting one.
well, you think about it, David. If you and I could afford 42 grand, or we could scrape 42 grand together, we could actually put enough together to blow fucking the House of Parliament up.
yeah, yeah, which we don't intend to do. If anybody from the police is actually watching this, we do not intend to do that. We have never intended to do that. And
But just pointing out it could be done.
yeah, yeah,
So just ban fireworks altogether.
yeah.
Because they are dangerous, folks. Even in their form as fun things, they're dangerous. But even more dangerous is the fact that some numpty can get enough of it together to get 163 kilograms of gunpowder.
Yeah.
That's a fucking scary idea.
Ah,
So let's just ban the bloody things.
yes. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like if you want to, there's 32 council areas in Scotland. You could have 32 organised, proper organised things for a bonfire and some fireworks, right? And it could be done in an area whereby there's a low population of dogs and cats and other animals that are going to be scared by such a thing. I think it's dreadful. Some of the stories I hear about dogs, people having to take their dog into the shower, run the shower, so that they're not scared at their blooming and scared at the skin and stuff like that. And it's ridiculous.
Now, so Larry the Cat, ladies and gentlemen, and Charlie Cat, how do? Sorry you're late. Was busy editing another Lorween. And there's one to premiere at 5:30 p.m. at night. Shameless plug. Naughty fucking steps, so Larry. You could have brought your laptop with you and edited it while you were listening.
Yes.
We're not having any excuses. You can join Charlie Cat on the naughty steps of Larry the Cat.
Plus the fact it's like you're going to do something for you call Halloween, right? It's Halloween is taking place on the 31st. So, and it's like all you need to do is go and look at David, and that would give you as much as you wanted in terms of
I'm sure he's a cheeky bastard, you. Right, let's move on. Starmer rules out.
He's my pal, but he's so good.
I don't know. David, hold on a minute. Hold on this. Don't do it, me and your spanner. Listen, on this next one, there seems to be some breaking information in the comments. Now, at point of writing, Starmer ruled out investigation into Reeves' illegal renting out of her family home for $3,000 a month.
Yes.
But apparently new information's come to light. I'll need to look back at the comments, see what it said. Sky News, new info passed to Starmer, email to be published tonight, expecting the conclusion she wasn't informed. So, it would appear that they're going to get away with it. She's going to get away with it. Angela Rayner should be kicking up the fuss.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
But at the point of writing, when David and I were looking at the article, Starmer just wasn't having it.
Yeah.
Just telling the Ethics Commissioner to fuck off, drop this one. Which is a highly unusual move. What's the point of having an ethics watchdog if you can veto it?
No, it's playing. Yeah, again, he's playing here to an audience. Some was that.
Aye. So at this point in time, it looks like Rachel for accounts is going to get away with it. But if I was Angela Rayner.
By the way, Free Scotland's just put up just on the last article we did. The drone light shows are amazing and silent. And I must admit, I've not seen them physically myself. I've seen them on TV and it looks fantastic. So yeah, rather than stupid old fireworks where idiots are getting a whole black powder and all the damage they could do with that. Bloody hell. Anyway, sorry, David.
Aye. So as I say, if I was Angela Rayner, I'd be getting off my dinger.
Yeah.
You know, and $3,000 a month. What size of patch did she have in?
Well, I don't know. If it's in London, I suppose, you know. Yeah.
I see. I don't know where she lives. But it must be some size of pad anyway at £3,000. Saying that in London, it could be a 2-bedroom flat, can it? You know. No, I don't think Labour's going to last much longer. Spaffer's ethics advisor resigned. That's right, so he did. Boris Johnson's ethics advisor resigned in disgust. Right, next one's even interesting. Starmer refuses to rule out breaking manifesto tax pledges. Now, this is the rumour, because we're only a month out for a budget now, David. Less than a month now, 26 days out for a budget, 27 days out for a budget. And there's a rumour that Reeves is going to put 2 pence on income tax.
Well, I mean, yet again, I have to say that she's playing a wee game of now you see me, now you don't, right? And it's like she's going about having a go at the gaming industry, you know.
That's not press speculation, David. She's not.
Right? Okay. She'd been on about having a go at the pensioners again, the disabled, all that sort of thing, right? Everything apart from the rich.
Well, what's interesting about all this stuff, David, is it's only speculation. The press are asking questions and not getting answers. So they can put whatever spin they fucking want on things.
That's right. What's the best way to actually deal with the rumour mill? It's to come out with the facts.
But you can't, when you're running a budget, you can't announce a budget to a budget day.
Absolutely. So therefore, we are in the middle of the rumour mill.
Yes, and it's quite fun to watch because, as you say, the disabled, the pensions, the unemployed, the gaming industry, the hospitality industry, everyone's getting whacked except for the rich.
Yeah.
And it's sort of take our mind off the fact that take our mind off the fact that we're all screaming unitedly at Rachel, tax the rich.
Yeah. Rachel, if you're listening, tax the rich!
The whole of Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland and England, we're all unifiedly pointing straight towards Rachel, and we're all telling her the same thing. Tax the fucking rich.
Yeah.
And it's been met by the rumour mill on how she's going to tax the middle.
We're still getting this woman idiotic thing that says, oh, well, the rich will up and leave and go and all the rest of it, right?
So don't hit you in the arse and away you off you go.
What the hell? I'll tell you what, seriously. Let's say there was a man that owned 10 Starbucks, for example, right? Okay. Or 10 McDonald's, because they're a franchise, right? Okay. Do you think that man is going to up and leave and he's going to take those 10 McDonald's with him?
No.
No. The McDonald's are how he makes his money. So therefore, what happens is he can fuck off, but the money stays here. There you go. Tax the rich.
So Larry, that's awfully generous of you. You don't need to pay us for praising your channel. It's brilliant. But it'll go to very good use. As David said this morning, it'll be used to plug the gap in some poor bugger's belly.
That's right. Yes. So
thank you very much, Sir Larry. But as I say, it's interesting because while we, the people, are all screaming unanimously, tax the fucking rich, the papers and the politicians are all speculating on how they're going to whack the middle and the poor.
Yeah. It's really... the newspapers and mainstream media, we're now at a situation where these people need jumping on by the we're talking about the reasonable public.
Aye.
People in the past have never really raised an eyebrow at these things. We need for the reasonable public to actually go, no, you're not getting away with that. You're not getting away with that. So we'll just wait for the 26 days or whatever it is until Ms. Reeves opens her gum and lets her belly rumble.
But, I mean, they are. You said she's pointing an audience. And at this point in time, we, the sensible amongst us, know that she's playing them like a fucking flute.
Yeah.
Because she's not answering any of the questions, leaving it all open to speculation. And that's the way it used to be in the old days. You know, the budget, they've been speculating, and nothing's changed. They've been speculating about the budget for years, and the Chancellor would keep their gob shut and let them speculate until the day of the budget. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But they're no managing to eke ends neuter, so they're speculating because she's refusing to say whether she would or wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's nonsense, but to go back to the main point, Starmer refusing to rule out breaking manifesto tax pledges. Starmer broke every fucking pledge he's made so far.
That's right. First they were pledges, then they became...
Oh no, first they were promises, then we went to pledges, then we went to missions.
That's it. Yeah, that's right.
And then, of course, when it came to putting a manifesto out, it was such a loose document, it could have meant fucking anything. Absolutely anything. Anyway, this next one was entertaining, David. And that is Nigel Farage's attempt to put a bill through Parliament in his 10-minute motion.
Absolutely wonderful. The guy's had his arse handed to him in a sling twice within a week. Yeah, it's wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful.
But see if I can find that again, David. Farage's sad his constituency values named most deprived. It's in his constituency. Yeah, it would appear that video's disappeared, David.
Yeah. All right, just tell people about it. Don't worry.
Anyway, folks, in Parliament, you get two prominent things down there. You get the early day motion and the 10-minute motion. Now, the early day motion is generally taken up by political parties to try and get a bill through Parliament, whereas the 10-minute motion is when an MP gets a slot to put something through, a bill through on an issue that's personal to them.
The early day motion is what the SNP used very cleverly back in 2017, I believe, when the England were playing Russia.
Aye.
And but they actually got the claim a right through.
Yep.
And that was wonderful. Absolutely, it was really clever. All the rest, all right. But your 10-minute rules for an individual.
Aye, to try and put a bill before the House. Anyway, Nigel Farage tries to put a bill before the House for us to leave the ECHR.
European Commission on Human Rights, or the European Convention on Human
Rights. But what Nigel tells him in the debate was, you know, you don't believe you're smart enough to make your own laws. You don't believe in our sovereignty. We won't be sovereign until we leave the Council of Europe and its courts. You know,
well, they're not fucking sovereign anyway.
Oh, well, I'd say it just cracks me up, man.
Yeah.
The way he dupes the fucking the less informed in that road. Listen, the term's monarchy for a reason. The monarch's fucking sovereign. Type in your search engine. Who's the sovereign in the UK? Fucking big ears, sausage fingers will come up.
I'm sure it doesn't say big ears, sausage fingers, but I get
the
idea, don't we? Yes.
You're fucking nuts. Just because he lends his sovereignty to Parliament every 5 years doesn't mean they're fucking sovereign. Spanners, they don't know their own constitutional arrangements. You know what, folks?
Someone should tell Smigel Fartage to pay his fucking taxes, putting his earning through his business to 25% instead of the 40%.
Yes.
Can I just tell you, Mr. Larry, right? Anybody that's got a business, a limited company, what you do is you might start off playing a game where you pay your tax, your NI, you go through your accountant, right? And it costs you a bloody fortune. Eventually you go, right, hang on, many shares work, right? I'll just take it and share ownership. Simple as that.
Aye.
And that means then the amount of tax you pay on
12%
that
or something like that.
25%. 25.
25 is it?
Yeah.
Dividend tax is it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's your Davies.
but Farage puts his motion before the Parliament. It gets defeated 154 to 96.
Yeah.
Now, the video we were going to show you, folks, was Ed Davey giving Nigel a slap in the puss. But unfortunately, it's disappeared off the BBC site there. So I can't pull it up. But it is interesting because this is the first stab at it. You can bet your boots if the Tories get in, there'll be another stab at it.
Yeah.
If Farage gets in, they will definitely put it through. This is a hint of the direction of travel, folks.
Well, Demi Badnock is already on record as saying that she would get rid of the
Aye.
Yeah.
So is Jenrick now, and he's likely to take her for it.
Was Jenrick that specifically was mentioned?
What was interesting about what Farage had to say is, if we write our own Bill of Rights, then the state that gives them can take them away. And he thought that was a good idea.
Can you imagine a Bill of Rights written by Reform?
No, I can't. No, I can't. I can imagine Reform behaving like Trump and doing everything by decree.
Yeah. Yes.
I wonder how Charlie or William would think about that. You know.
Yeah. Well, no, but if you remember that the Tories were running via the King Henry VIII edicts.
Yes.
Right. So it meant that it was supposed to cut out various things, about various amounts of inefficiency. So in other words, if you've got a bill that's been released a few years back, and you've got to bring it in and replace a few words in it, right? What that would have meant you'd have to go to the House of Lords, and then there'd be a first reading, second reading, so on and so forth. So what they did was they brought through these King Henry VIII powers so that they could actually take that bill and go, right, it's done. Just do it. And it's called SI, Statutory Instrument. It was meant to be used once in a blue moon. Ended up, it was getting used all the time.
Yes, and what it did was it put the power to change the acts into the hands of the Secretary of State as opposed to into the hands of the Parliament.
Well, it was in the hands of anybody that was in the cabinet. That's effectively what the statutory instruments meant for. So, Lisa Nandy.
Seen that one in the rounds, Laurie. Thanks very much for your $9.99 super chat. But Starmer, if you don't like it, then you can leave. Famous last words. Independence, anyone?
My answer to that was, grab your coats, we're off.
Hey, and Megan, that's quite interesting because this is what Ed Davey had to talk about. He had to talk about he was reform Russia laws. He was talking about how Russia's the only one to ever leave.
Yes. In actual fact, we've got a movie of Ed Davey saying precisely that.
Aye, I did have it, but I can't find it, David.
Well, never mind. Don't worry about
it.
Right. What do next? What we got next on the list?
Wait a second. I'll scroll down and see if I can find this bloody Ed Davies thing. Oh, here we go.
Good.
Found it. Found it. So let's share it.
Here we are.
I don't defend state-given human rights because they can be taken away by the very state that has been given to them in the first place. I've never seen so many Liberal Democrats in all my life. I've seen mine.
Order! Continue.
I would ask the Liberal Democrats and others in this place, what is wrong with you? Do you not believe? Do you not believe?
We've got a list for you. You've only got 10 minutes left.
Do you not believe this country is good enough to make its own laws? Do you not believe that the country that since Magna Carta has developed the principle of common law and with its faults perhaps been the best ever developed by civilization, do you not believe we're good enough?
The speech we've just heard totally misrepresents the European Convention. And the proposer's failure to mention the huge benefits and rights the European Convention has brought to millions of British people says it all. For those attracted by the argument we've just heard, let me give them one strong reason to think again. Russia, under Vladimir Putin, is the only country to have withdrawn from the European Convention on Human Rights. Now, maybe that's what attracts the honourable gentleman for Clacton to it. After all, he said that Putin is the world leader he most admires. Russia, a country where those who oppose the regime are mysteriously pushed off balconies, and where, if it isn't enough to murder a political opponent like Alexei Navalny, Putin has even jailed lawyers who dared represent him. Things not allowed under the European Convention. But as we've seen a leading political ally of the honourable member, Nathan Gill, imprisoned for taking Russian bribes, perhaps we shouldn't be surprised that the Reform Party is so keen to follow Russia.
Wonderful. Do you know something, I've got to say, one of the best speeches I've ever said, I've ever heard Ed Davey make.
Oh,
I thought he was a Lib Dem, or Lib Dum, right?
something like that.
Flipping out, wonderful.
But no, that's the best I've seen Ed Davey.
Yeah.
That is, to be fair. And I've watched a lot of Parliament.
Yeah.
For us, that's the first crack at it, folks. That's the direction of travel.
Yeah, but for Farage, that's twice as behind his arse in a sling over a week.
Aye.
First one was Caerphilly, second one was us.
Aye, but as I say, that's the direction of travel, David. That's the first time it's hit the flare at Parliament. It'll come back.
Yeah.
And that's a worry. Now, this next one's quite scary enough, folks. Home Office has struggled to deal with crisis Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, tells the BBC, as she oversees a police operation to crack down on illegal working by asylum seekers in a high street in South London. She says her department is not fit for purpose. She oversees it at the moment while carrying out an ICE-type operation on the streets of London, David.
Yeah, but also there's a caveat there. Not just in London, is it?
No, it happened last week in the East End of Glasgow. In fact, it happened earlier this week in the East End of Glasgow.
That's ridiculous. Our police are being used as a baton to hit the Scottish people over the head with.
But when you think about it, David, I mean, when they were doing the police operation in the East End of Glasgow, they were targeting places that were cash only, because they thought that's the places where they would find illegal workers and tax avoidance. That was the excuse used.
As far as that's concerned, when did it become illegal to have cash only? You're not forced to take a card machine, and most retailers that would be involved in that would go, well, hang on a second, 3.5%, whatever it is that I have to pay for a card machine. Why am I doing that? Why am I handing over extra money to the bank?
Yep.
What's that? I'm already handing the cash at the end of the day across to the bank when I go to bank it, right? Why am I also giving them a slice of the dip and roast?
Yep. As I say, but that happened here in Glasgow, but the fact that she's overseeing the operation herself.
Yeah.
Now, there's something no right here, David. They say they're looking for exploitation in the migrant workforce and things like that and on the black market. But the thing that drives them in there is exploitation by the state. £43.50 is not enough for an asylum seeker to survive on. So they go and get a job in a nail show, a vape show, a cash in hand show. So Actually,
Car wash is the biggest one.
yep,
We-
car washes were hit in Glasgow last year.
Right? And it's like, what's going to happen is it gives the state, the establishment, the opportunity to get rid of these people.
That's right. It lets them criminalise them and deport them before their asylum claims processed. What she was overseeing was a nice style raid
Yes.
in a high street in South London. And what was going on in Glasgow was a nice style raid carried out by police in the East End of Glasgow.
So there we've got
But the
the
reason,
horrors that we see in America taking place with their ICE setup.
we've
They're
seen it here,
literally lifting people off the streets.
criminalising them and then deporting them. And that's exactly what the Police and Immigration Service are doing here.
Yeah.
And it's at the behest of the government that's exploiting these people and have them living in such poverty that they're forced into the black market to go work.
Do you know something, guys? I've got to say, David and I sit here week after week and we bring up this stuff, right? Now, I know there's a phrase going about called grievance politics, right? But really, we keep on bringing this stuff up, right? And it only gets worse and worse and worse. And then surely there's got to come a point where you go, fair enough. We really need to be out of this union.
It was not about the fact that there was no arrests for illegal working during Mahmoud's visit. It's the fact that they're out doing it.
That's right.
What they're doing is the asylum seekers who don't live in hotels get £43.50. The asylum seekers who live in hotels, as Stephen's just pointed out, gets a tenner a week to cover whatever's left to be covered, whether that be soap or whatever. These people are living in absolute deprivation. So they're getting wee jobs in the black market. Now they're out hunting them down to get rid of them before their asylum claims can be processed.
As far as I'm concerned, the place up in Scotland that we're talking about for the asylum seekers, right? Just shove a gate on it. A few armed guards. End of the day, they might as well do what they're intending to do. That's what it's coming down to. It's going to come down to the point where effectively Farage gets in. My goodness me. Oh, bloody hell. You have a situation there where these people have not got any chance whatsoever.
But Mahmoud's decision on the direction the Home Office is going to go in and direct police to go in this one seems to be what happened in Glasgow, in which he was overseeing in London. It looks like there's going to be ICE-style raids on people who are that bloody poor, and they're that poor because of her department.
Yeah.
Basically, they're criminalising these people and deporting them.
Yeah.
It's beyond the pale. And I mean it's beyond the pale. It really is. And when we see the level of cruelty to these people, whether it be for Farage and his right-wing fucking fascists, or for the so-called middle, it's quite painful to watch.
Yeah.
It really is. And the way that these people are dehumanised, it's not that far away from the way the Israelis have been dehumanising the people of Palestine.
Yeah, what you do is the first trick is to make people like animals. The whole narrative is these are animals, right? The moment you've got no indication of them being normal human beings with wants and emotions and all the rest of it, right? You've lost that story. You've lost that narrative, right? So.
As we stumbles, we go to the idea that you were pointing out it was propaganda for the TV. Yeah. It was letting people know she's coming for them.
Yeah.
These people who are being forced to work on the black market, it's not by choice. You're not living off £43.50 a fucking week. Yeah. Just no done.
Yeah.
Just no done. Anyway, we've no time to talk about Trump starving civil servants in America. and having them to go to food banks because he's shut down, because that's 5 o'clock, 1700 hours, David.
I'll leave it just with consider that if the civil service was shut down in the UK with no pay, what do you think would happen?
Chaos.
Just leave it at that. Don't bother. Don't you saying, David? Just leave people with that thought. That's what's happening in America right now.
Yep. Right. Anyway, David, I need to go work tonight, and I've got a busy night ahead of me. So
Definitely time for independence, 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 as we say in Scotland, and
the prize.
the prize. Yeah.
Now, folks, thanks for your kind contributions today. You've been very generous. I am on the case. I forgot to go and get a fucking balance for you. I'll do that tomorrow morning. Okay. Right, guys. Catch you later. Look after yourselves. David will be back on Monday.